Nobody fully prepares you for how financially confusing, in fact, generally confusing your 20s can be. Back in secondary school, uni days, I had a very simple plan, a very straightforward plan. I would get into law school, move out of my parents' house, get into NYC, get a job, get married, and live happily ever after. But then now I'm in my 20s and I am done with law school, I am done with NYC, and I'm just now realizing that life isn't as straightforward and as easy as it may seem. Because tell me why now I have so many interests. I have so many things that I want to do all at once. And I have to also figure out which one will make me happy and financially stable enough for me to chase it. And there are so many options. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing 5 financial realities that I am just figuring out in my 20s. Not as an expert, not as someone who has figured it out, but as someone who is also trying to navigate this in real time. So if this is something that you are interested in, then keep on watching. Lesson number 1. Stability isn't just about salary. Growing up, I always felt that being stable, being financially free meant you having a job that would at least pay you salary at the end of every month. But being in my 20s, I am just realizing that stability isn't just about finding one job that pays you and settling in that job. There are so many different opportunities. There are so many different career paths. Quite frankly, I do not believe in finding stability in just one job anymore. Because currently in Nigeria, having one job does not even pay well. You cannot use one job to settle your bills, to pay your house rent, to get food in your house, to get clothing on your back. You cannot just use one job to get all of that, especially in Nigeria. And we're not even talking about the good things of life. We're not talking about you exploring, traveling, doing different things for yourself. We're just talking about survival. Currently, you cannot survive just with one job, because even if you feel like, okay, if I get a higher pay, then I will be able to survive. No, you won't. Your expenses will increase. I'm not able to afford this because my salary is so amount. When you're not being paid a higher salary, you see that you start targeting something even higher. I also want to speak about how we find one opportunity and we feel like that's the only opportunity that we can get. What happened to exploring? Like, if you could get this one opportunity, what about the millions and billions of other opportunities that you can get? I'm not saying that if you have a job, you should leave your job in search of something. But then I just believe that if you haven't even tried, like you just found that one place and you are sticking to it, and you're not happy with your decision, it drains you all the time. It drains you. How then are you sure that that is what you are meant for? Instead of just having one source of income, we should have other sources of income. Try to learn skills. You could learn skills to just give you side income. To wrap up this point, stability or financial freedom doesn't mean having one source of income, because what happens when that source of income is taken from you? Are you then financially free? No, you're not. I feel like stability is about having different options. If one doesn't serve you, fine, you have other ones that would serve you. Next, this may be a bit difficult, especially in the era that we live right now, but your lifestyle must match your income. Your lifestyle must match your income. With the use and growth of social media, on social media, everybody is living a very soft life. Nobody has struggles. Everyone is living the life. Everyone is enjoying. Everybody's traveling, glowing up. And then you know your situation. You know what you are facing. You say you want to join them too. You have less than 100k, less than 50k in your account. But no, you want to also show that you can travel. You want to also show that you can afford this. You can do certain things, when you know deep down in yourself, you really cannot afford to live that kind of lifestyle. Which is why so many people just end up doing things that they're not meant to do, because they just want to prove a point. They want to just show up on the internet as someone who has all these things. Meanwhile, you do not. There's this thing I've been seeing a lot on social media about your alter ego. You should act like who you want to be. So if who you want to be travels around the world, it buys all this expensive stuff, does things, buildings and cars and stuff like that, what they're basically saying is that you should try to find that alter ego, not the one that you start doing all sorts of things just so that you can appear to be somebody that you are not even. Your alter ego is meant to inspire your discipline, not inflate your expenses. This next lesson is something that I am still struggling with, and it has to do with building skills and not just saving. Now, this one hits me really hard to accept because I am a big saver, right? I love to save. I save a lot, basically, with the books I've read and in videos that I watch. I was so quick to realize that no matter how much I save, at the end of the day, it is still my same money that I already have that I'm putting away. Instead of putting money away, why don't I have a skill that can bring in more money rather than me just putting away? You have a skill, you are a fashion designer, or you're into makeup, you're into hair, you can edit videos, you do all this ghostwriting and all those things like that. And then let's say you also now work in a corporate organization, right? Instead of you now always saving a fraction of your salary from your corporate job, and depriving yourself of things that you actually need, why don't you earn more money from that skill that you have? Use that skill for something else. Like the money you get from the skill can be the money that you save rather than just having only one source. This also somehow relates to the first point, having only one source where you have to do everything from that one source. I've gotten jobs, I've gotten money from just being able to edit, and there are different other skills that I still plan on learning. Being in your 20s, you have to equip yourself with so many skills because in the long run, that is going to help you. Having skills just multiplies your income so much faster because with savings, different things can affect your saving. There are things like inflation. So 50,000 naira that you saved in 2015, which was probably big money, is nothing right now in 2026. I have always told myself that I am not an entrepreneur kind of person. I am not a business person. And that's mainly because I usually do not really know how to approach people to speak to them and then let alone sell something to them. I've always just told myself that, oh, you know what, I'm someone who I can't sell stuff. That is something that I know I have to fix because for me to be able to have an extra source of income, I have to sell myself. I would have to sell my skill because even after learning those skills, I have to get people that would want me to render those services, want me to render those skills to them. And what other way can I do that? Big decisions require proper planning and strategy. This topic, this whole video is like a note to myself as well because there are things I'm currently going through. I just relate so well to them. In your 20s, you begin to think of really big decisions. You begin to make hard decisions that you are so scared to make. You are so scared of failure. You're so scared of what would happen next. Like you do not know the future. You don't know what could happen if you do make this decision and if you do not make this decision. Big moves like career shifts, business ideas, relocation, independence, all these things. There are such big decisions. I studied law, right? And I've been called to bar. I'm a lawyer, basically. But I'm not practicing law. From my YouTube videos, people would ask me questions on Instagram like, oh, how did you get this place? How do you see your law firm and stuff? And I'm like, I don't work in a law firm actually. It was a hard decision for me to make, okay? But then there just has to be a lot of planning, a lot of planning and strategizing when it comes to making big decisions. Because yes, your 20s are for exploring, not sitting in one place, not just being okay with one opportunity. But then when you want to make that big move, when you want to pivot into something else, is it pivot or pivot? When you want, Ross said pivot, so pivot, baby Ross. So when you want to pivot into something different, you have to really strategize and think of how it may affect you in the nearest future. But then trust me, if it is something that has been sitting in your mind for the longest time, and you know deep in your mind that if you should make this decision, you are going to be happy with yourself, then you should just make that decision, honestly. Money is emotional. Money is very, very emotional. Money is tied to comparison. Money is tied to ego. Money is tied to fear. Money is tied to validation, expectations. Everything you can think of is just tied to money. Money is tied to everything. Sometimes the pressure that we feel isn't even about not having money or not having enough money. It is just trying to meet up with expectations that we have already set up for ourselves. Trying to meet up with ego, security, success, respect, proof. These are all things that we want from having money. When you want to feel successful, you feel like if you do not have so amounts, then you are not as successful. You feel like if you do not have so amounts, then people would not have respect for you. For you to have that security, you need to have certain amount of money. Everything is tied to money, basically. And that's something that I'm actually really realizing right now. Because even for me to make a big change, for me to want to act spontaneously, I have to think of the bank. I have to think of, okay, this thing that I want to do now, is it financially wise? Is this what will be detrimental to me? In any decision we make, in any decision that you make, you have to think of it financially. Like, is this okay for me? Obviously, as I mentioned before, I am still learning. I am still trying to navigate all of this. I am realizing now that your 20s are not for having it already figured out. I remember when I was a child, when I was still really young, and I would see people in, like, when I say, oh, this person is 23, this person is 25, in my mind, I'm like, this uncle already has everything he needs. So this uncle is rich. Uncle, buy me this, auntie, buy me this. Meanwhile, they probably were having the worst period of their lives as well, trying to make the most difficult decisions. And so now that I'm also in that phase of life, I'm just realizing now that, wow, the same thing is happening to me right now. Probably little children probably think,
Oh, this auntie is a lawyer, so she has money.
I have money in Jesus' name. So in a nutshell, your 20s isn't about having everything figured out already. They are about building awareness, building experience for yourself, and trying to figure things out, what works best for you. If you are navigating the financial pressure of being in your 20s, please comment how you are dealing with whatever pressure that you feel. If you have any lesson that you've also learned or you are still learning or you're figuring out, please also comment that down in the comment section. I would really love to read it. And yeah, if there is any other videos that you may want to see from me, please comment down below and I'll be sure to recreate or create those videos. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, follow me on Instagram, TikTok. Have you LinkedIn? Gosh, I'm becoming like an adult because who uses LinkedIn? I never used to use LinkedIn, but subscribe to this channel. And yeah, you guys, that is basically it. I don't know if I introduced myself, but my name is Teresa Ijukwe, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.